young people with the skills, platforms, and opportunities to innovate with AI and create meaningful impact. To introduce to all of you, I'm Safin Matthew. I'm a Vice President at 1M1B and your host for the session. Today's session brings together leaders from the government, industry, academia, innovation ecosystems, and global institutions to explore how AI skilling and youth-led innovation can drive inclusive growth in India and across the global south. The session also builds on the Yuva AI initiative for skilling and capacity building, led by Meta in partnership with India AI, AICT, and 1M1B, an initiative that's focused on nurturing and scaling youth innovation using AI across the country with a commitment to empower 100,000 youth on generative AI and large language models. And I'm pleased to share that in the last 2 months, once the initiative kicked off, about 15,000 youth have already been skilled through the program, and we are looking at scaling it up in the coming few months. We have a few innovators present here today. In fact, 3 of the inspiring young innovators who are here to show us how they're using AI for good, and especially innovating using large language models. The innovators you'll hear from today have been identified through the Yuva AI initiative for skilling, and they have been identified through a hackathon and a hunt for startups who are using LLMs in a very creative manner. So these young innovators are not just learning AI, they are applying it to address pressing societal needs across India. And each innovator will do a short pitch of 2 minutes. I would like to begin by inviting one of the innovators to go ahead and present his pitch, AI for cardio. Let's have a round of applause as we welcome the young innovator.
Everyone, my name is Nandakishore. In India, there are around 30,000 primary health centers are there. So imagine a farmer having chest pain, going to this primary health center. What they're going to do, they will take an ECG and a blood report. But the problem is there's no in-house cardiologist over there. So they have to send it to a central hub, then return the results back to the primary health center. So the problem is it's around 30 to 40 minutes delay is happening. Delay means the mortality rate is going high. So we built AI for cardio, a desktop application that works completely offline, where the medical practitioner can upload ECG image along with blood reports to get the final diagnosis. So it's powered by Llama 3.2 11B vision model we fine-tuned on 100 GPUs, and it has been published in one of the most reputed medical journal in the world called British Medical Journal. So this one is actually have an interpretation system called cross-model attribution system, where the model is actually giving the idea where the model is actually focusing on. You can see on the image, there's a red mark. That's the model is actually more focusing on that part. So we actually implemented on around 100 plus PHCs and helping 1,000 plus patients. So the motto is simple: wherever you are, even you are in a rural area, the life should have been saved. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that deserves a round of applause. Excellent use of AI for the masses. Thank you so much. Now we have the Honorable Minister here. With that, we can begin with an insightful fireside chat that aims to explore India's vision for AI skilling and how collaboration between the government, academia, and industry can unlock large-scale potential and opportunity. Now it's my privilege to invite onto the stage Sri Jayant Chaudhary. So, the Honorable Minister of State, Independent Charge for Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, and Minister of State for Ministry of Education. And joining him for a fireside conversation is Mr. Aman Jain, the Senior Director and Head of Public Policy, India Meta.
Firstly, it is incredible to see so many people in the room still. It's been 5 days, and I feel like my first reaction when I came today was that it seems like more people every single day. So it's incredible. Thank you everyone for being here. I hope the traffic will get better where you're exiting, but thank you for being here. Firstly, thank you to Honorable Minister and guest who's graced us with his presence. One of the things that's become very, very clear at this event, especially in the last 5 days. Honorable Prime Minister in his remarks also spoke about a lot of the importance of AI, and what we want to be able to do with AI is essentially going to become a function of skilling. And we are lucky to have a dynamic minister in charge for that very, very important portfolio. So I had a couple of questions, and we could just hear your thoughts on them. Just to start off, I'll ask the sort of, I don't want to be provocative, but just make it interesting.
Why not?
So make it interesting. So and because I referenced the Prime Minister's remarks, at the beginning of the summit, he did say that, look, AI taking away jobs, the very notion is kind of misplaced, stating that technology actually creates new opportunities rather than eliminating them. So I want to know, what are your thoughts on this? Because that's obviously top of mind for folks, that, with more proliferation of AI, are we going to end up losing jobs? And then, depending on how you think about it, also from your vantage point, then what would be your advice to youth?
I think it comes down, when any new tech comes in, if as a society we adapt to it early, and if you're a first mover, second mover, maybe even the third mover, then you're in an advantageous position, and the size of the pie will go up. So as currently we are not seeing that, because AI is not adopted at scale yet. It's the promise of it, the idea of it, the multi-dimensional nature of it that is exciting everyone. And everyone in the room knows, whether I'm a farmer, I'm a student, I'm a professional, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an accountant, I'm a strategy consultant, I'm a student. It's going to affect all of you in very personalized and intimate ways. You're going to be using it, and you're going to be affected by it. So I think India is in a position where, after this event, we've created a huge mass of people that are going forward on this, that are engaging with this without fear. There is no fear. Yes, there's confidence, and with time, we'll be able to, with our architecture, build trust, because trust becomes very important when you are giving away a lot of space to technology, but it is inevitable. If you look at the offline, online retail, for instance, as an example, people still like going to the small shop, the Kinara shop, and having that conversation. But at the same time, you can see a dramatic shift towards the online model. The impact that internet had, it probably took away a lot of jobs. But if the share of the pie went up, the possibilities today using social media, monetization that I see, I've gone to villages and I see people, I would ask them earlier, okay, what are you doing? They would say, we've done BA pass. I'm saying, what are you doing? Or even an MBA, and they say, what are you doing now? And they say, I'm doing agriculture, I came back. Basically, I lost out, or I gave up. And I said, okay, now I have no choice. I have my 2 acre, I have to till that land till I die. Now when I go to the villages, you see young boys and girls walking with a stick. So they've been able to monetize and create a new space for themselves. I do believe AI will come up with a whole set of new jobs. Context mapping, for instance. We're just assuming that large enterprises will take 500 agents. Who's going to train those agents so that the process flow actually gets automated? Who's going to contextualize? Even now in India, the voice that speaks in the lift doesn't seem like a voice that is familiar. They still have not been able to get the kind of the language, the nuances. And India is so diverse. So for any AI model to represent all of us as Indians, it will take time. So that contextualization is a story where I think you're going to see a lot of people at the grassroots getting opportunities. Our startup system is very robust. And the best part is that with a huge population that is savvy, that is adaptive, that is trained and skilled, the probability is higher that the best new ideas of the future are going to come from India. This is what that event is about, seeding that ambition in every young person. And when those enterprises get created, there will be job creation. But will every job be the same as it was 10 years ago? It isn't, even now. The catch is that we are told every time technology comes in, it's supposed to make your life easier. So, but everyone ends up working harder. So this is the question in the room. It's AI will make us all more productive. Will we be able to be more humane? And will we value our experiences as human beings more as a society? Or will life become harder for us? This is where the tagline of the event, Ke Sarjan Sukhaye Sarjan Hitaye. Can we become happier citizens? Can we engage with our governance models in a more transparent manner? Can we take out more time for more productive aspects of our life? The blurring between technical and non-technical qualified people, I believe that will be great. Because it offends me when we say white collar, blue collar. That itself is offensive, because what are we trying to say? So I think those things will get blurred because the opportunities are immense. You don't need to be have knowledge of programming to become a coder or to create apps, to create products. That is the beauty of this AI.
Absolutely. You said something on the pie increases, and as an example, and just to corroborate that point further, we've seen that in retail, for instance, where overall the pie has increased in size, and so e-commerce actually is just 7% of the total retail in India, and as we go towards a $5 trillion, $7 trillion, $8 trillion economy, that retail continues to grow sort of, a fair bit.
To that, while they receive a lot of criticism and they must evolve to better practices and social security benefits for the gig economy, but if you look at the aggregating platforms, were those small dhabas and restaurants actually getting any business, and could they have survived? And if not these aggregating platforms, what other tool would have come that would have changed? So we just sit here thinking that life will be the same. It will not be the same. There will be something all the time. There is going to be flux, and that's the dynamic nature of a globalized world.
Absolutely. You mentioned the theme of the summit. The theme is AI for all. So your thoughts on how we can use AI to ensure that it, skilling and the benefits of AI reaches, what would be called traditionally underrepresented groups. So, whether it could be people with disabilities, it could be people in far-flung areas, or, in the Northeast or anywhere else across the country. How do we make sure that AI and the benefits of AI and skilling along with it reaches every part of the country?
AI impact and the kind of products we're already seeing out there, some of them are displayed here, have a tremendous possibility for special people with special background, handicap, disabled people. And one of the challenges in the education system is that we need to screen and identify those students earlier, so that a customized, more sensitive environment can be created for them in the classroom. So one aspect is teacher sensitization, that does the teacher have the capacity? Are there tools out there? Which is why we tried a Prashast app in our schools, and a second iteration is now being rolled out. I'm sure there can be a layer of, or some kind of augmentation using AI. But if you're screening early, because in the Indian case, if you ask me how many school-going students in India are categorized as with special needs, less than 1%. And what is the actual figure? Probably 6, 7, 8%. And why are children then dropping out? This is one of the reasons, one of the biggest reasons why if children are not completing school, because that school is not able to capture their unique capability. So no child should be left behind. The best teachers were the ones who didn't teach the best kids, who paid the most attention to the weakest kids, children who are not following, right? Every child is important in that classroom. And now with AI, there are so many teacher tools out there that individual journeys can be mapped, can be analyzed, and corrective action can be taken real time. So that is the power of how AI at scale can transform our capabilities and competence. A Northeast, tough geographies, again, AI has solutions there. On the Skill India Digital Hub, we've tried, Meta has been partnering us, and we created Skill India Assistant, which again is making the journey easier for anyone who comes to the portal. Skill India Digital Hub is now a DPI. We are now going to add more and more data layers on it and try and create more value for researchers, create an open stack if we can. IIT Madras is working in similar fashion on the Education Center of Excellence in Education. That also includes elements of skilling. But the idea there that is being proposed is also to create a full education stack. So all of the ed tech solutions, all these new startups, all the vibrancy that we are seeing in this summit and in this room, those players can now come on board and partner government in our journey to change lives.
I probably should have started with this. That thank you for visiting our booth. You were just there, and and we had the honor of also hosting the Honorable Prime Minister on day one, and I was there, and he was very sort of engaged, and what we'd shown to him was this feature on the Ray-Ban glasses, Meta Ray-Ban glasses called Be My Eyes, and that exactly is that point that how it helps. That is a specific feature for people with impaired vision or blindness, but there are so many different sort of use cases where AI can truly help.
Language is so important. That language, people will slowly move away from this parochial mindset of इसका pronunciation अच्छा नहीं है, या ये मेरी भाषा नहीं बोलता, ये तमिल नहीं बोलना जानता, कन्नड़ नहीं बोलना जानता, हिंदी नहीं बोलना जानता. It's going to go away. Our way of thinking will then migrate to what is he saying, what is she trying to communicate, the idea that she is talking about. That is most important. The medium, which is just a language, should not matter. Those barriers will go away very easily with AI. That capability is already there. You're working on that. Sarvam has come out with a very small edge computing model that is not expensive and can run on your, any device that you own practically.
Because you mentioned Sarvam as well, we are working with them on essentially what we call the AI Kosh, and again the focus there is on multilingual, omnilingual, how many more sort of languages we can add, and that's, I think, also a fairly sort of good framing. I think the Indian government did at this event in essentially saying that, look, it's about it's not necessarily a race for frontier models, but it's more about models that work for you here, and that should be a focus. You briefly touched upon it, so I wanted sort of we've got many organizations represented here. What would be sort of your advice or clarion call for industry to partner with you as you're thinking of advancing many of these skilling initiatives? How can industry partner more with you as in your work?
Yeah, so my one ask really is that enterprises are created and value is created when you are able to widen your engagement with your clients, with your new markets, with a new base of employees. But if you do a real analysis of corporates in India, as they have come to this point, they are still hiring on closed networks. It's the elephant in the room. They will hire based on trust and faith, which must be high. So we need our industry partners using our academic infrastructure. One new scheme that has come in that I'd make a pitch for is PM Setu. For the first time, 60,000 crores, it's a lot of money. 60,000 crores is being put in our ITIs. So our ITIs are the grassroots organizations, government ITIs. There's maybe more than 3,000 in the country. They are going to get benefit from this. We're going to create clusters. It's not going to one ITI. The idea is not just you create a swanky building or a lab and let it be. It is also incorporating ideas of governance. Can these become institutions and create a network? So it's going to be 5 ITIs in a cluster working together, aligned to the local economy, to the needs of the MSME there, and with a partnership where an industry partner will be onboarded as part of the governance of that institution. We want industry to say, we will run these 5 ITIs. We will design new courses in those ITIs. We will look at our trainers. Globally, if you look at the skill ecosystem, the people who are working in industry are the people who are going to in the TAF, for instance, in Australia, which is our equivalent to ITI. People who are currently working in industry are going there and working and training. Similar in European guilds. People who know cutting edge practice, they know what the employers want. They are the ones who are actually going and teaching in these institutions. In our system, who is teaching? The state is the one hired by the state 30 years ago, who perhaps his trade is carpentry. Now he has to teach AI, welding, electronics, circuitry. So if you yourself don't have that domain knowledge, as a trainer, as an instructor, your capacities are limited. So we need to create a repository of trainers that, again, industry will come in. We need to create new courses. Do you know we still teach Hindi stenography? It's a one-year program. You should wonder why we are teaching it and why are children going and learning it. Because they need the certificate. No one will tell you this for recruitment, which is why they are doing that program. All of this needs to change. So while we're talking new technology, we're talking AI, we're seeing the visible impact at the grassroots, we need a lot of rejuvenation in our educational institutions.
Absolutely. I know you're short on time, and so again, I'd like to thank you for taking the time. I think in a few minutes you've really shown a very exciting vision and also a clear way for how industry should partner. At Meta, we obviously believe in this a lot, and we are already working with your ministry with the Skill India Assistant. We hope to do more, and you'll see that in the coming sort of weeks and months. And to everyone else in the room as well, I'll again mention this, that it is really a privilege to have such a dynamic minister in charge of what will become probably the biggest sort of area for disruption over the next few years, which is going to be skilling, education, and so on. So thank you again for your time.
Thank you so much, sir and Aman. That was a fantastic conversation. And if I may, please request yourself for one photograph with all the panelists. If I can request all the panelists to come on stage for a group picture. I'm not sure from morning it's going on. Yeah. Maybe we could stand in front. Thank you so much. While we get ready for the next panel, I would like to request our other two innovators to come forward and pitch their innovations as well. So I'd like to first invite Proxima AI, if you can come forward and present your pitch.
So, good evening. My name is Ashish Pratap Singh. I am the CEO of Proxima AI. My father runs an MSME business in Lucknow. So, wherein all the data is actually scattered across email, spreadsheets, and WhatsApp, leading to 35% productive time loss and 10 to 15% in revenue leakages. But this is actually an all-India problem, leading to 8 lakh crore plus of annual cost overruns across Indian MSMEs. There are 7 crore plus MSMEs across India. So how we have solved the problem is by building an autonomous AI agent that can think, act, and execute on your behalf. Users can get work done by the agent by giving it simple commands to do work like tender extraction, tender tracking, CRM querying, and calendar management. Under the hood, we have used Meta foundational models, particularly Scout and Maverick, because in our internal evals, we have found them to be particularly good at reasoning, planning, orchestration, and tool usage. Results, we have achieved 15,000 minutes plus saved monthly with 99.9% compliance accuracy. What sets us apart is we have reduced the productive time loss from 35% to nearly zero with a 6 to 9 month payback period for our clients. Currently, our revenue stands at 41 lakhs in the last 6 months. At the end, I would like to thank 1M, 1B and Meta AI for this opportunity to collaborate with them.
Thank you so much, and all the MSMEs here. He's someone you could reach out to for an interesting solution. Next, I would like to invite Ayurveda GPT, who's got a very interesting solution. If you visited, I think hall number 14, you would have seen a part of the solution presented there as well. They have a stall there. Yeah, Nandkishore. Oh, sorry. Ayurveda GPT, over you.
Hello. So good evening, honorable dignitaries and respected guests and all my dear friends. So my name is Himanshu and I'm representing Ayurveda GPT. So Ayurveda is India's gift to the world and people have been embracing Ayurveda. So yeah, pretty much like there are a lot of manuscript text, right, available, but they're pretty much difficult to interpret. And further, the people cannot access it directly. So we've been like working on this initiative for Ayurveda GPT, where not only you can just access this knowledge, but also you can have a real-time conversation with the Rishi in terms of video kind of chat. So let's say, pretty much this model is being trained on more than 300 million plus Ayurvedic tokens. It's of I4 architecture based, and further, it is directly rooted from the manuscript itself. So whenever you are having a doubt about, let's say, fever itself, so during that, you can just simply query to that particular model, and it will give you answer right from the manuscript along with the dedicated source. So further, there are a lot of government initiatives being there, but there hasn't been a specific model which directly rooted from the manuscript. So this was the initiative that we kind of launched. And further, our current model, you can directly see it on the screen itself. That's a demo, where I'm having a real-time conversation with a Rishi related to the manuscript. So yeah, thank you. So are you guys ready to take it to the global level?
Initiative, taking Ayurveda to the global stage using AI. Thank you so much. Now we move on to the leadership dialogue titled Empowering Youth and Driving Innovation Through AI Skilling. May I please request our respected panelists join us on the stage for the discussion. Mr. Pankaj Kumar Pandey, IAS Principal Secretary, Government of Karnataka, Department of Personal and Administrative Reforms. Let's welcome with a round of applause, Department of E-Governance, Mr. Rishikesh Patankar, Vice President NSDC, Mr. Buddha Chandrasekhar, CEO Anvadni and CCO of AICT, Mr. Darren Farron, Director, United Nations Information Center, India and Bhutan. I think Mr. Deepak Bagla, who's the Mission Director for Atal Innovation Mission, he'll just join us in a few minutes. He's in the other room. And the discussion will be moderated by Manav Subodh, the founder and CEO of 1M1B. Manav, over to you.
Hello, everyone in the room. My name is Manav. And trust me, I didn't change my name yesterday. I was always Manav, and until the Prime Minister just, casted the Manav vision for us, and what a vision for all of us to take AI. But, thanks to my parents, they named me Manav quite some time back. So welcome, everyone. We have a very high energy panel today and very limited time. And we'll try to make it interesting, and I'll try to utilize the maximum we can out of the short time that we have amongst these distinguished people with me. So, I'll start off with, AI is they say is the new internet. AI is the new electricity. The question is, who has the switch? And today, that's what we will be discussing. If the past technology patterns, we have seen that there have been a few countries who have made it, and the rest of us consumed it. That needs to change. And India is going to change. And when the youngest population collides with the most powerful technology, which is artificial intelligence, we're going to have creators and consumers. And this is the opportunity for India to have AI creators like what we just saw, Ayurveda GPT. Like, these are local innovations that we need to see. So I'll start with the question first to Mr. Pankaj Pandey, and Mr. Bagla would be joining us, but Pankaj has been leading. He's the Principal Secretary of E-Governance at Government of Karnataka, and there's a lot of action the government is taking in Karnataka, especially on the skilling front. So the question, Pankaj, to you is, what role is the government of Karnataka playing to skill the government workforce and make sure that we are aligning the government official also with what's the trajectory that the country is taking?
So, thanks a lot, and congratulations to the young innovators for having presented these three concepts, and it's very well done. My compliments to them. If I look at the government, the government, the verticalization or in terms of protecting your own territory and the information is very, that feeling that, okay, this entire data and this entire data set belongs to me is extremely high amongst the department. And the government is one of the institutions where we create a huge amount of data. You take energy, you take agriculture, horticulture, various departments. Now, for a good and targeted delivery of the services of the government, we need to ensure that these data sets talk to each other. And therefore, one thing which has to change is the change in the mentality of the people working in the government, that we have to talk to each other, we have to collaborate with each other. We need not just create data, but we have to collaborate and ensure that this data set is used for the purpose for which it is meant. And for example, I'll give you a simple example, like the farmers will require data on the weather. Obviously, this weather data also has to be used apart from the cropping pattern to ensure that the power supply is given in the various irrigation pump set feeders, which go and supply the power to your irrigation pump sets. Now, these two are related to each other apart from the cropping pattern. So your GPS data to the granular level, your data regarding the energy, and the data regarding the cropping pattern and the weather conditions are interrelated. Now, these departments need to talk to each other, like energy, agriculture, horticulture, your disaster management cell, all of them need to talk to each other. And therefore, the mental frame of the government officials have to change. In fact, in this direction, we had a workshop. We called the second in command of all the government departments first, who maintain their data. Every department has got some kind of an IT cell. They have an IT cell which manages their data, manages their software. We wanted to target them, that you need to talk to each other. You should see that what kind of potential exists if you start collaborating. So this is one thing, and obviously this will also require the academia and the industry to come together with us, and that is where we want their help to be taken.
Thank you very much, Pankaj. My next question is to Buddha ji. There's a lot of work happening on Anuvadini AI, and what the minister was talking about, that we need local languages, and you are leading a big initiative in the country, especially in higher education. So would like to have your views on how this is coming along and how the grassroots participation can be critical and will be critical, looking at some of the work that you're doing.
Thank you. Good afternoon all. On behalf of Ministry of Education, Government of India, I welcome all of you for this thought-provoking, sharing is caring, that's in the first standard book. I think, what a wonderful event is happening from last 4 to 5 days. Knowledge is flowing from one place to another place, not only within our country, from across the globe, so because we all believe Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the entire world is our family. That's the reason, it says, wellness for all, for everyone, happiness for everyone, welfare for all, very, very apt. So I just come back to this because I see this in a little different way. Because have you ever seen skill books anytime for a plumber or a painter? Most of the books has images without a description. Have you observed? So the biggest problem, if you give these books to notebook LLM to Google, I'm just taking a notebook LLM, you can take any such kind of a AI tool, it can't even describe what it is. So that's where the Anuvadini Ministry of Education component comes into picture. We have created an advanced visual large learning model. It can understand what is there inside the image, and it will describe what is there inside that image in Indian languages. Because as you all know that 85% people in our country, they speak their mother language. So the way they communicate, they trade in mother languages. So that is the biggest issue. So what we did, we have translated all skill-related books into 22 Indian languages, so that the plumber, painter, who is not well educated can easily understand. But we did that, and we have one very big event in Bangalore. So my wife is also from Bangalore. I thought I will go and little show off and send a photos to my wife saying that I'm there and I helped your people. Then I got a shock in my life. One painter, I just asked him, sir, you are also there in that event. So basically I asked one simple question, ki, are you happy we have given you book? He said, sir, aap log AC room pe baithte ho. You don't understand our problem. I said, please explain, what is your problem? The shocking answer he gave, sir. He said, I'm a painter. In one hand, I hold paint dabba. Other hand, I will hold the paint brush. How I will hold the book? Do you see the difference between human intelligence and artificial intelligence? So we are creating all technological solutions, assuming that one human with less educated person can use it. Then 3 दिन sir मुझे नींद नहीं आया, I am not able to sleep. Then we have come up with a wonderful audio-based books for them. Because see, I think this is where I see AI comes into picture. But I put this in 3 simple perspectives. Learning, earning, leading. This is a simple 3 dots which we need to connect, when with respect to the skilling and connecting that with the artificial intelligence. But when I say artificial intelligence, the artificial intelligence with the data intelligence, with the business intelligence, because these 3 dots are interconnected. But because people love artificial intelligent word, so they are just simply using it. But the matter of the fact here is the content what you have is not self-explanatory one. The second thing, if someone wants to learn it, right, the best way of learning is in their own mother language. But here the challenge is, if you take exam, again I'm taking Kannada, but you can take any language. Example, if you take Hindi, Punjabi Hindi is different than Bangladeshi, Bangladesh, West Bengal, if someone is coming and speaking in Hindi, their Hindi is different, then a Bihari Hindi is different, then a Bhojpuri Hindi is different, then a Haryani Hindi is different, then a Rajasthan Hindi is different. Do you see the issue, right? So the neutralization of these softwares, neutralization of these languages into a common neutral Hindi. Do you see, that is where Anuvadini comes into picture, because he was asked me to talk about Anuvadini. So basically we are a small learning model, nothing rocket science, but we are trying to solve the major problem of making everyone understand what it is in a pictorial way, in a audio based as well as in a video based. And recently, as you know, there are a lot of Kling and all, I hope you all are using it. See, this advanced technology is given us a wings to fly. Because if you are just, talking, maybe 40% people can understand. But if I am showing you something, right? So because human being has the best ability of capturing the impressions of images. That is what we will run it so fast, and we called it as a videos, right? That's the reason people like YouTube videos. So now the matter of the fact is, we are translating all this skill-related content in a AR, VR, and a video and pictorial basis so that people can understand easily. And at the same time, it is in multiple languages, not only in Indian language. If you are interested to learn multiple languages, let us assume I'm the one who is getting trained, but I'm planning to place it in Japan. So now the matter of the fact is, Skill Ministry come with a very wonderful initiatives where I can learn everything in Japanese as well as in my own mother language, and including English. So what a beautiful combination we are creating. I see that this artificial intelligence is no more an artificial intelligence, it's an advanced India. God sent an AI to make India as an advanced country, advanced India. So this is where I clearly see it. Do I have 1 more minute or?
Yeah, we can wrap up. Yeah, please. No, I have more questions for you,
Okay,
but I'll let but thank you, Buddhaji. Yeah. Thank you so much. In fact,
I mean, if you allow, I just connect these 3 dots.
Yeah.
See, the learning is important as well as earning is also very much important, because we are competing with something called artificial intelligence, the much more better intelligence. But I would like to take you back to one level to prove that, human intelligence is greater than artificial intelligence. The reason being is, there is a soap company, I'm sure you all use soap, right? So one of the European customer complained saying that I received a soap box without a soap. So the company CEO is a technology, they spent 300 million and created the best of the best ICR engine in the world, which can peep inside the soap box without putting a hole to see whether the soap is there or not. And he implemented everywhere. But the company they have in India also, it is called Sinita Aroko Soap. You have seen the ad also in the newspapers and TVs. So they never, the guy who's sitting there, he never implemented it. the CEO got pissed off. He came, visited India, and he said, what is the reason you're not using? You give me an explanation. I spent 300 million. Do you see the Indian best of the best brain? The guy who's sitting there is a 6th standard failed farmer and a small labor. And he said, sir, I don't need to use this. So he said, prove it in front of me that, you don't need to use it. You know what he did? He just took a table fan and put in front of the conveyor belt of the soap. So what happened if the soap is not there? It's empty box, right? It flied. He said, I don't even need to pick. Brothers, I'm telling you, dear friends, this is the best of the best brains Indian is carrying. Indians has a best capability of connecting right and left brain. We are the best of the best human beings living in this world. The only problem, we are not confident, we are not working as a team. That is the only problem. I think the second dot, we are not converting our skills into a earning, which is much more important, because if you earn, then only you will live, right? Because you need money. At the same time, how you can survive and take it to the next level. Maybe I will just try to pass on to the other panelists. I don't want to occupy their time, but we will discuss further.
Sure.
Thank you.
In fact, there's an innovator in the room, Bhuvneshwaran. I don't know if he's here. Oh, he's here. He's a farmer's son, and he himself has created a technology which is voice-based AI for farmer guidance. Right? And when I was talking to him, he was saying none of the farmers like the complicated apps. There's too much of content out there. I'm just making a simple phone and a voice-based service, and that's what he's getting that grassroots knowledge to AI, which is so important. And one of the stories that you were sharing. So thanks, Bhuvneshwaran, for being here. And so any one of you who are interested to know his technology, he's a local innovator. He's sitting back in the room. But I'll turn the next question to Baglaji, who's the mission director at Atal Innovation Mission. And one of the big things is we need policy for AI acceleration. And there are innovation labs that Atal Innovation Mission is putting up in the hinterlands of India. So, Mr. Bagla, how can a local innovator participate from the hinterlands of India and still make something which is globally relevant? Or does he need to make something globally relevant?
First, I'm sorry I got a bit late. I was on hall number 17, 19. You know what was happening there? They had identified, so we have tinkering labs currently in 10,000 schools. 5,000 शहर में, 5,000 गांव में. Actually, 5,500 गांव में, 4,500 शहर में. And government schools and private schools all included. So in the next 96 hours, quick background, Atal Innovation Mission, which is the government's innovation mission. So it is from school to space, and I'll give you a quick introduction on that, will turn 10 years. And its 10th birthday, which is after 96 hours, it is the world's largest grassroots innovation mission. 1.1 crore young entrepreneurs have moved to it, and I'll give you an answer. तुम और मैं अब relic हो गए. There were 3 kids, one 11, one 12, and the other one 14. You know what are the solutions they came up with? One has given a solution of radiology. How he's brought in AI that reads when your MRI happens and gets it out of you. The other one is treating mental health among students with AI. These are kids which are 11, I can't even call them kids. I'll give you a small example. I was just posted into Atal Innovation Mission, July end May. And I said, I want to test the power of this platform. I'm just telling you at the school level to begin with. Garima, my colleague, is sitting here, and it was in September mid. And I said, let's do a hackathon. And everybody told me, ये छुट्टी का समय है, सब लोग exams आ रहे हैं, midterms हैं, अभी नहीं करिए, बाद में कर लीजिए. I said, no, let's do it. None of you know about it because there was no big ad. 5 weeks later, we had over 25 lakh prototypes. It is now in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's largest hackathon. And I'll tell you what happens, what I'm saying here. These are not just entries. These are solutions to challenges from that small village. I remember Saturday का दिन था, I was doing my puja, phone साथ रखा हुआ था, 3 बारी बजा. मैंने उठाया नहीं, third time I picked it up. The guy said, sir, मैं झज्जर से बोल रहा हूँ, मैं 9th class का student हूँ. मेरी एक problem है, आप sort करिए. I said, क्या हुआ? He said, मैं 3 ideas देना चाहता हूँ, teacher मुझे सिर्फ एक देने को allow कर रहा है. You know what I'm trying to tell you? This India is a different India. वो एक गांव से, he finds my mobile number, calls me up. This India cannot be stopped now. हम ये जो बात करते हैं ना, that we are number 3 in startups in the world and number 2 in the number of unicorns and all, this is just a drop in the ocean. This story is just 3,600 years old, 3,600 days old, this Atal Innovation Mission story. Just imagine all these people coming into your workforce. And they are solving the smallest of problems which are there, which are contextual. And the other interesting thing, अभी 2 महीने पहले मैंगलोर के पास एक गवर्नमेंट स्कूल से हमारे 5 बच्चे, so every year there's a global Olympiad of robotics. They select from the best all across the world who go and present. And it's a very difficult process to do it. This time it was in Panama. मेरे पास फ़ोन आया कि सर हमारे 5 बच्चों को सिलेक्ट कर दिया गया है, हमारे पास पैसे नहीं हैं टिकट के. My 5 kids flew to Panama, all within 96 hours of getting a visa and being there. And of over 90 countries, they came 13. It's really unbelievable what is happening in India. And that's what I was just saying in that room when I came from there. I said the future of India and the biggest benefactor of AI in the world, which we call is the delta multiplier, is India. We are 1.4 billion. We will be 1.6 billion by 2060. You will be the largest on the planet. Just imagine each one of them with the power to make the change and the power to work together to make it happen. Which is what AI is doing now. It is empowering that youngster, and it is giving them the ability to join hands with each other, the dots which you are joining. This power, we have not even thought of how it can be unleashed. But you know, it cannot be stopped. You are now at that inflection point, and we are all underestimating how fast it will happen. हमें लग रहा है 10 साल लगेंगे, 15 साल लगेंगे. In India, it'll happen now. So ladies and gentlemen, the future is now.
Yeah, the future is now. Thank you so much. And
Sir, if you permit, I just want to add one. And see the kind of a transparent system government of India have. The school children from a small remote village, they got recognition, and they got help also. This is the, governance what Honorable Prime Minister ji is, created a transparent and very valuable system for our next Gen Z as well as millennium.
Great, and I'm being told we have 5 minutes, so I'll be making it very quick. And my next question is to Darren Farrand, who's an Australian, and we were having a nice banter about the World Cup that is going on.
Sorry, what is the World Cup? I'm not familiar with that.
And
I could draw your attention to the Winter Olympic medal table.
When and Darren and we work together, and Darren is from the United Nations Information Center. He's based in Delhi. He's seeing it all happen. And Darren, not the World Cup question, which I'll talk to you later, but the question to you is, very quickly, because we have limited time, what role you think India can play in the global south and across the globe in taking AI and creating made in India for the world?
Well, I think this week is your answer to that. You know, this is the first such summit we've had on AI in the global south, and there's a very good reason why it's in India, because India is a global leader in South-South cooperation, in sharing ideas, in getting forward, and of course, just by sheer numbers, 1/6 of humanity, it's a microcosm of the world. What's being done here, all the issues you might face with AI are already happening on a small scale, or not a small scale, but are already happening here in India. So the question of languages, well, that's already an issue in India, and you're solving and dealing with it. So the experiences that you have, you can translate to any other country or any other context, because you're so diverse already. So I think that's why India is always going to be at the front of the pack in terms of getting out there and sharing ideas among the global south. And for us at the UN, that's so important, because we're really worried about the AI divide, the people who might get left behind.
Yeah, the
So we
inequalities
really
it
want to
can
see
create,
India also as a champion of that, of making sure that people, not just in India, but around the rest of the world, get their opportunities to benefit from AI, especially in the area of skilling. Like, it's great to hear of all the innovations and all the skilling that will take place, but we do have to remember some people will lose their jobs, you know, on a large scale. So what are the solutions we have to get them new skills to be ready for the future?
Thank you, Darren. And the question, Rishikesh, to you is, how do you think we can scale it? You're leading it at NSDC. You're seeing it happen. What are one thing or two things we need to do to really scale this and make sure that the talent that we are developing is actually employable?
Yeah, thank you, Manavji. I think government's focus is on employability. And it is always said that education is creating the opportunities, but skilling creates employability. And that is also focused in the current budget announcement which has been made, that employability has to be given more focus, and employment will come through. And if we are talking about scale, I think some of the speakers have already talked about the scale. Whatever we do in India is the world's largest, be it digital literacy, financial literacy, or the transactions which are happening online. I think with the right kind of mindset, skilling has not been that aspirational. But now with AI and multiple sectors growing in, I believe a lot of emphasis is now on improving the skill sets, and it is lifelong learning. And I think with the current government's focus on multiple domains like logistics, maybe marine, aeronautics, aviation, I think there are a lot of opportunities which are created in the ecosystem, and with the right kind of ITIs who are now the 21st century Indian Institute of Technologies, which our Honorable Prime Minister thinks about, and the engineering institutions, tier 2, tier 3, the schools, innovation missions. I think with all these, I think the stage is all set. We just need to create and come together. The canvas is vast, and whatever we do will be scaled up.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I'll just conclude with one last question to all the panelists. And, public-private partnership is so important. So, one last question. Just wrapping it up. One last question, and I'll start with Mr. Pankaj Pandey. What can industry do to collaborate with your department to make this scalable and replicable? And that's the question to all of us, and we can wrap it up with that.
Probably we need the support of the industry, the max right now. And we want to collaborate, obviously, with all the major companies which are there in the AI field, apart from the startups which we have in Bangalore. And I think that will provide us the edge which we have in terms of being nimble-footed and adapt to the technology faster. So I think that is what we need right now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Pandey. Deepak ji.
Today, we don't have a choice. It is now an imperative. Everyone has to work together, which is academia, industry, government, and each one of us as a stakeholder. The biggest challenge which I see in my job currently, so Atal Innovation Mission is the core entity which is responsible for the innovation ecosystem of the country to see what can be done. My entire focus now is how do I make one higher learning institution speak to another, one young school speak to another, and how industry and government work together. You know what is my dream? If I can take a minute.
No, please, please.
If I have one dashboard, all my school innovation labs are there, all my incubators are there, the policymakers are there, the mentors are there, all together on that dashboard, speaking to each other, working together. My God. If it happens, unbelievable.
I have one suggestion, sir, on this. Yeah. Sorry.
The power of collaboration.
Yeah. One thing which I really love about the Western concept is that movement of the people across sectors. So government moving into academia, academia coming to the industry. The guy who has worked in the industry also teaches there in the college,
right.
and again works in the government. This kind of a movement, if it is allowed, that will really help. The government will get to know what is happening in the industry, what is happening in the academia.
Got it.
See, that's what NEP 2020 is all about, sir. Now, we are so fortunate that, we got a NEP 2020. I strongly believe after the Constitution of India, this is the best document have come up. Because it is connecting 5 simple dots. One is the education with the skill, with the, with our industry, and with our talent, and with our innovation. And research. I think these 5 dots are getting connected using this, but I have a little different thought process altogether what we need to do. Instead of doing a caste census, for God's sake, don't want to know others' caste. We need to know other skill. We need to do a skill census in this country so that we know, time is up. You need to let me finish. So the skill census is much more important so that we know each and everyone's skills. Let us do a SWOT analysis of it so that we know what is their strengths and weaknesses. We need to strengthen their weaknesses and make our country better and interconnect all these dots together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And more power to India, more power to AI. Thank you so much for the panel. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have a small memento for all the speakers. It's from the Impact Summit team. And as we conclude, one message stands clear. AI leadership is not just about models or compute, it's about people, skills, and opportunity. If we invest in youth, we invest in impact. Thank you to all the panelists, thank you to all the audience, you have been wonderful, and have a good rest of the evening and rest of the summit. Thank you so much. And a big thank you to our institutional partners, Lloyd Business School and GIMS, whose students have been here and engaging with us. Thank you so much.